Next year's Call of Duty game has already gotten leaked. I know that Black Ops 6 is right around the corner, but there was this tweet that came out saying that a Call of Duty 2025 focus test has apparently leaked, revealing improved Omnimovement with wall running and uplink coming back. Now, this tweet from Jacob doesn't really fully dive into the leaks. We're going to be going through a lot of stuff that got shared on Twitter. It's absolutely crazy, but I do want to give you guys a heads up that this video is going to be covering leaks. It's not 100% confirmed information, but just for fun, I want you to comment right now if you think that these leaks are real or if you think they're fake. And either a year from now or whenever the next Call of Duty game gets announced, I want you to come back to this video and let me know if you were right or wrong. Obviously, I'm going to share my thoughts on this leak with you guys and whether or not I think it's real or fake. But before we jump into my thoughts and my opinions on all of this, I want to start by showing you guys all of this information. So it really all started with this tweet from Fumo Leaks saying Call of Duty 2025 information thread. Some silly goober managed to get into a focus group meeting for the next Call of Duty game. This thread will compile almost everything that was said in this meeting plus a few little bonus goodies. And they had said the pic is not mine, but from another attendee. Now, if we click on this image, this is the picture that they managed to get. And honestly, I really do wish that the person that managed to get this photo would have done a better job of taking it, because this is only going to be able to give us so much information, but I'm going to try to dissect as much of it as possible for you guys. So the sideways text says, interpret us day 2, group 2. At the very top, it says, in the battles of tomorrow, shared information and technology, and then it gets cut off. The next line says, that can be used to buff nearby teammates and their gadgets. Deploy the, and then it gets cut off again. The next line says, their lethality and effectiveness, networked perks allow players to share their buffs, and then it gets cut off again. And then the last line says, making and teamwork. Okay, so before we dive into the other 2 paragraphs, let's just focus on this. They're talking about networked perks being able to share buffs with nearby teammates, and it essentially allows you to buff your teammates and their gadgets as well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is definitely sounding more advanced. It's sounding more futuristic than what we've been getting in Call of Duty games as of lately. This is kind of sounding like exo abilities in Advanced Warfare, but if they were specifically referring to this as networked perks, it sounds like it could be a completely different perk system on its own, like something completely brand new. But yes, it's definitely sounding more futuristic instead of like, you know, typical modern military stuff or even like past Call of Duty kind of style gameplay. But moving on to the second paragraph, it says, the next evolution of Omnimovement is here with increased fluidity and all new immersive animations. And then I think it gets cut off again. The second line says, tomorrow, new mechanics like wall jump allow you to leap from surfaces for new ways to engage and mitigate fall damage when landing from a high surface. Body shield also returns, now with the ability to, and then it gets cut off there. And then the last line says, and kick their body toward your enemies. Okay, so we really need to break this down and try to digest this second paragraph because it sounds insane. It sounds like the next Call of Duty game is going to have Omni-movements, but they're going to continue to evolve and innovate and change the movements. So it's kind of sounding like Black Ops 6 is going to be the baseline for this new movement system, and they're going to continue to build upon it from there. Now, obviously, in past Call of Duty games, we've had wall running, but they're calling this wall jumping, saying that it allows you to leap from surfaces, almost kind of like a frog. Like, that's honestly kind of weird. I'd be surprised if this next game doesn't have wall running and it just has this wall jump feature. But the fact that the second sentence starts with increased fluidity and all new immersive animations, and then the sentence ends saying tomorrow, it leads me to believe that this next Call of Duty game is going to be a little bit further in the future than what we have now. And I do think it's extremely important to keep in mind that they're saying that the body shield mechanic is returning. However, you're going to have a new ability to be able to kick the person's body towards your enemies. We have to keep in mind that this is a multiplayer game mode focus test, or like a focus group. Specifically, Omni movements and body shield are mechanics that are brand new to Black Ops 6's multiplayer, which heavily implies that next year's Call of Duty game could actually be another Black Ops game. But we'll delve and dive deeper into what next year's Call of Duty game could potentially be. We still need to read the final paragraph here. It says, put all your skills and technology to the test in all new and returning fan favorite game modes. It starts to get cut off, so we'll start with the second row. It says something about Avalon to complete objectives and earn score to become the victor. Honestly, I'm kind of lost as to what this could be, but we're gonna keep going. It says returning to Call of Duty for the, I'm assuming maybe the first time since a certain game, where players will fight for control of a neutral satellite that must be uploaded at the enemy's base, which this is where the uplink rumors have kind of started. This leak is definitely implying that uplink will be coming back for the first time in a long time. And then on the fourth line, it says capabilities and advanced guns, gear, and gadgets in all your favorite 6v6 6v6 modes from, I'm assuming they're gonna say team deathmatch here. I think possibly even face-off and gunfight return for more intimate experiences on our smallest maps. Now that's everything that we can deduce from this specific picture. The big takeaways are this new thing called networked perks, more innovations to Omnimovement, more innovations to the body shields, and then of course a mention of a bunch of different game modes. Now purely based off of just this information, there's 3 different conclusions that we can come to about what this game might be. My first guess would be Advanced Warfare 2, and that's mostly because of the return of uplink, as well as the fact that they're talking about advanced gadgets. And this guess has mostly to do with the keywords that they're using as they describe things. You know, technology is used a lot. The word tomorrow, gadgets, advanced guns, gear, and gadgets. Like, it really does sound like this could be Advanced Warfare 2. However, there's a couple of things that maybe point into a different direction. I do feel like a lot of people would expect Advanced Warfare 2 to have exo movements, not to have Omni movement. If the game doesn't have an exosuit and you can't double jump and it doesn't have exo abilities, it's not really going to feel as much like Advanced Warfare, you know? Which leads me to my next 2 guesses. And this one's definitely a bit more of a stretch, and I don't really think this could be the outcome, but it could actually just be Modern Warfare 4. We had seen some rumors lately that Infinity Ward has been working on Modern Warfare 4, but they've been struggling with the development, and we think this has to do with the fact that they've had to incorporate Omni-movement and a lot of other potential gameplay changes that they're just not really either comfortable or familiar with. Which could also maybe explain why there's focus group testing for it, because maybe Infinity Ward doesn't feel confident with what they're doing. So maybe that's why they're having focus group testing, but it is definitely still quite a stretch. And on top of that as well, we did just have Modern Warfare 2 in 2022, and we got back-to-back Modern Warfare games with Modern Warfare 3 following up in 2023. And overall, I do think it would be kind of strange to have Black Ops 6 in 2024 and then immediately go right back into another Modern Warfare game the following year, which leads me to my last guess, and I think it could be the most accurate one, which is that there is going to be another Black Ops game in 2025. Now at this point, I'm blanking on whether or not it was either a leak or a rumor, but earlier in the year, we had seen a rumor that said that Black Ops 6 was going to be the game for this year, and that there was going to be a sequel to Black Ops 2 in 2025. And honestly, just based off of this information alone, it does sound like it could be a game that would potentially fit somewhere in between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 in the overall Black Ops timeline. As far as it goes for the overall game timeline, obviously we start with Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and then Black Ops Cold War actually fits in between BO1 and BO2, specifically the 1989 missions from Black Ops 2. And then next up in the timeline is Black Ops 6, and then we had Black Ops 4, which technically preceded the events of Black Ops 3, which is the most futuristic out of all of the Black Ops games. And dude, I know this is starting to get confusing, but I would imagine that if there is another Black Ops game, and especially if they decide to call it Black Ops 7, based off of everything that we've seen right here, I think it would be safe to assume that Black Ops 7 would either take place after the events of Black Ops 6 or possibly even Black Ops 4. But I don't know if they would necessarily push it to be as futuristic or even more futuristic than Black Ops 3. And overall, I do kind of feel like having the guess of saying that the next year's Call of Duty game is going to be another Black Ops game, I feel like it is the safest bet and it could be the most likely scenario. But there is even more to these leaks. We apparently do have some information about the campaign. It says the campaign is a Black Ops story set in 2035. The protagonist this time is David Mason from Black Ops 2. The game is more of an espionage theme, with the key point being informational warfare. Now, obviously, Charlie Intel did not mention the Black Ops 2 2025 missions, but that would obviously be after the events of Black Ops 6. If Black Ops 7's story really is set in 2035, then this would be technically more futuristic than what Black Ops 2 was like. But maybe not as futuristic as Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 especially. But the fact that they're mentioning that the main protagonist would be David Mason from Black Ops 2, that does pretty much directly line up with the rumor that next year's game is going to be a Black Ops 2 sequel. Now, I'm just including this tweet for the sake of including everything that was mentioned, but this is just the body shield mechanic being reiterated again. But yeah, this is just reiterating everything about Omni-movement that we already saw from the previous picture. Same thing with this multiplayer tweet as well. It says the return of classic maps and modes for the Black Ops franchise. Now, see, I don't know where they're getting this about the Black Ops franchise. I don't know if I'm missing something here, man, but I don't see a single mention of specifically the Black Ops franchise anywhere in this picture. But again, Uplink returns, so does Face Off, as well as Gunfights, and upgrades. We already mentioned the whole networked perks mechanic as well. Now, I'm not sure where they're getting this information from, but there is a mention of zombies, and it says this might spread into multiple tweets because holy shit. Part 1 is gameplay. Call of Duty 2025 will focus on round-based zombies. It says RBZ will have one of the biggest maps ever in this game. To compensate, there will be a transportation system like transit to traverse around the map. Just based off of that information alone, it sounds like it could be a remaster of transit, but we'll have to wait and see. Zombies will also have an 8-player mode. This may be related to the leaked grief strings, as they also directly mentioned a classic mode. You'll spawn with a pistol, have to craft your armor, and hit the walls and box for new guns. Someone also replied saying, so is there no chance of this classic mode coming in BO6? And they had said it probably is coming to Black Ops 6. Now again, keep in mind that this is leaked information. There's no official confirmation of this classic mode coming to Black Ops 6 Zombies, but you never know. It could still happen, but based off of these leaks right here, it definitely sounds like they're talking about classic mode coming into the next Black Ops game. They also mention here that modes like Outbreak and MWZ will probably not happen again due to their issues with the community. Round-based is taking the spotlight again, as I stated before. Now, regardless about how you feel about Outbreak or Modern Warfare Zombies, the fact that there's a continued focus on round-based zombies also does kind of push this more in the direction that these leaks are talking about another Black Ops game and, you know, maybe not Advanced Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 4. But what makes this even more confusing is this next tweet, which says adding to this thread, but they didn't say who the developer is. So this isn't necessarily being tied to Treyarch, Infinity Ward, or Sledgehammer. We don't really know. Based off of the combined information about multiplayer campaign and zombies, I would definitely say that this is pointing in the direction of a new Black Ops game for 2025. But what does make this more confusing is the fact that the only picture that was shared and leaked was a multiplayer focus group test. As far as we know, there's no leaked images about campaign or zombies, and I'm not exactly sure where they're getting this information from. But obviously, whoever shared this image, I'm sure they don't want to give up their identity because they could get in a shit ton of trouble. However, since we don't know exactly who took this picture initially, and we don't know who leaked this information about the next Call of Duty game, it does kind of have me wondering if they intentionally leak information like this so they can see how the community responds and what we think about these ideas. That's definitely way more of like a conspiracy theory, and I'm not saying that that is exactly what's happening here, but that's exactly why I like to make videos like this and share this information with you guys, so that way I can hear what you think about all of this information as well, so we can try to come to some kind of conclusion. Based off of all of the information I've shared with you guys right now, what do you think? Do you think that Call of Duty 2025 could be Advanced Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 4, or a Black Ops 2 sequel? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video covering all of the latest leaks on Call of Duty 2025. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see some more Call of Duty stuff like this, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys later.
I've come. Train going.